Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a doubleheader as we get closer to the good old-fashioned bye week. We'll have a good game against the Cowboys eventually, but we got a doubleheader. We're going to play the Washington football team, and we're also going to go ahead and play the Jets as well in this episode, so it's going to be a good one, man. Make sure you go ahead, smash that like button for me, and then also hit subscribe as well if you have to be brand new, man. You know, got that college gaming, got that pro gaming content for you, man, so make sure you go ahead, check out the rest of the stuff on the channel. But we actually have ourselves a breakout player opportunity. It looks like Romeo Okura, who is one of our defensive players, he could be a guy that could very much become a future superstar on this team. So we got a new game day goal. We got to hold this Washington football team to less than 200 yards, or Okura gets 2+ interceptions, forced fumbles, TFLs, or sacks. So we'll definitely have to go ahead and check that out. He could be somebody that could see an increase to his dev trait. But then on top of that as well, we got a meeting. We got to talk about free agent fits, and we're going to take a look at the defensive side of the ball. So this is what we're kind of looking at right now. Could be going with either Chris Harris Jr. or Justin Houston, but at the end of the day, I really don't like either of those players. I'm not really feeling either of them, so we're just going to go ahead and end that conversation. I don't think I'm going to sign anybody new for the time being. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead, take care of the weekly strategy on screen, and then I will see you guys with some gameplay action for the Washington football team, man. So let's get it. Let's see if we can go 2-0 in this episode. So let's go ahead and take a look at Trequan Story, a custom prospect who just came in the rookie draft class, and he's a smart man, I got to give him that. He going after Terry McLaurin, scary Terry, as he gets him into the goal line. Washington looking for their first points of the game, and look at that. Scary Terry is going to find himself into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington football team. And this game is quickly getting out of hand for us. We are off to an extremely slow start right now. We're down 14-0 for the time being, and the Washington football team, they are starting to work on getting themselves another big drive. As a matter of fact, they actually did end up getting a touchdown, so we're now down 21-0. We are just straight up not having a good time. But if we can at least score on this drive, maybe we can make this a game. As we'll throw to the right-hand side, we'll get out to Quintez Chavez quickly. He will go ahead and pick up that first down, as we will go fourth and hit a play action here. Becker dropping back, looking around, looking for somebody to get open. Just didn't really see it. Becker is going to actually take off with it and going to get himself out of bounds. His first rush of the day, going for 16. As we do know that this defensive line is pretty elite, and trying to go ahead and try to set up the screen, but of course it ends up being picked off by Chase freaking Young. I cannot believe it, man. It's not even necessarily on Justin Becker's fault, but that being said, Becker is going to go ahead and throw that interception to Chase Young. Just a great deflection. Just good coaching by that Washington football team, and they were able to turn around and get yet another touchdown on the board. And speaking of touchdowns, this might go back to the house as Justin Becker ends up fumbling it. Oh no. Oh no, baby. This ain't it. We're down 42-0. You want to talk about just being absolutely railed? It's certainly happening here, man. I mean, we're going to finally get ourselves into decent field position to finally get some points on the board, but it's probably going to be a little bit too little too late at this point. Just got to make sure you at least go ahead and play with a little bit of pride at this point, as you will go ahead and hand it off to DeAndre Swift, who at least will go ahead and get us to the goal line for the very first time this season. We'll see if we can actually turn this into points, as Becker will drop back, throw to the left-hand side, get it out to Tyrell Williams, who finds himself in the end zone. Touchdown, Lions. And at least we won't be killed completely on the scoreboard. We will at least get that goose egg off the score for us. So at least we score. We don't get shut out by any means. But we're here in the fourth quarter. We're still down by 35 points. It's straight up not a good time right now. As we'll try to throw on 3rd and 6. Going to try to throw over to DeAndre Swift. But that pass somehow ends up being an inaccurate ball. It's incomplete. Is now 4th and 6. Becker throwing over the left-hand side. Finds Quintez Chavez in the end zone. Touchdown, Lions. And I don't really know why we're going to be celebrating right now. There's not really much to celebrate. I mean, we're getting killed out here. But at least in this fourth quarter, at least this last quarter of a half, our offense is starting to look alive here a little bit more. As we tried to get it out to Donnie Watson. But he ends up dropping it, though. So that's going to be an incomplete. And 3rd and 13, going to try to go ahead, pick up the first down. Becker's going to just try to run for it, though. He's got a blocker, but going to get himself out of bounds. He's well short of that first down marker. But honestly, though, we really have nothing left to lose at this point. So we're going to go ahead and go for it. And, you know, whatever happens, happens. And look at that. We get into the end zone with Tyrell Williams. Touchdown, Lions. And you love to see it. We at least finish this game strong. But, I mean, none of that is going to even matter if we don't end up getting this onside kick. You know, trying to make sure that the flame doesn't die. But you already know those onside kicks end up being pretty low percentage, per se. And, yeah, we end up losing to Trequan Story. First meeting between these rookie quarterbacks. And Trequan Story, he straight up dominated us. Got that 42-0 lead. And, you know, didn't really have to do much of anything after that. So, I mean, it's a tough loss to take. But at least we got something positive to take out of it. So, this was a really difficult game for us, to say the least. We was down 35-0 at halftime, right? So, it was not a good look for us. We played a little bit better in that second half, but by then it didn't even matter. It really did not matter whatsoever. I mean, they were just able to tear us apart. Trequan Story, he was doing his thing out there today as we check out both our stats as well as Trequan Story's stats. Now, Trequan Story, he is a custom recruit. He was fantastic out there. 28 for 39, 257 yards, 4 touchdowns, and didn't even throw a pick. And it wasn't even like our guy wasn't that bad either. 18 for 35, had 195 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick, which, by the way, wasn't necessarily his fault. Chase Young did make a fantastic play, to say the least. But as for the rest of the team, we just kind of struggled a little bit, just getting anything going, particularly with our running game. DeAndre Swift only had 40 yards on the ground. Justin Becker, he did fumble the football over, which did lead to a touchdown for the Washington football team, but he did have a couple carries for 24 yards. He did have some nice runs using that mobility pretty well. And then for our receivers, Tyrell Williams, he was doing his thing. The 8-year pro out of Western Oregon, getting 8 catches, 94 yards, and 2 TDs. Quintez Chavez also found the end zone as well. He had 5 catches for 53 yards. And then the other custom prospect that was on offense today, Donnie Watson, 3 catches, 33 yards. Now, for the defensive side of the ball, Romeo Okora, he was the focus of the breakout opportunity, and I think he's going to get it. He did end up with 3 TFLs. He did have a half a sack as well. I don't think we forced any turnovers as a team. I don't see any interceptions, and then we did not get any forced fumbles as well, so we didn't force any turnovers. We lost the turnover battle, and we just simply cannot win that way, especially when we only get 1 sack the entire game. That was split up between Tracy Walker and Romeo Okora. We'll go ahead and get ourselves ready for the Jets in the second part of this episode. But that being said, we got to play better across the board if we want to win football games in the NFL. But after the game, though, even though we did not do a good job of containing Washington football team's offense, Trequan Story, I mean, he was certainly dealing. Romeo Okora does get an increase to his dev trait, so he now has superstar development. So another guy that's going to have superstar dev on our team, another cornerstone that we can build off of on our defense. But now we get ready for the New York Jets, and to say the least, New York has definitely struggled They are 1-5 right now as a team. They have certainly had it pretty rough, and it's a Thursday night game, so it's going to be a really quick turnaround for us moving forward. You know, we know how quick that this game is going to be. Going to be looking to our captains, looking towards our leadership to make sure that we go ahead, take good care of the football, get one or few turnovers. We did struggle with turnovers a little bit last time out, but if we can beat the Jets and do both those things, that'll be a really good morale booster, considering this might be a crappy Thursday night game for us. But at the very least, though, we do get an upgrade for Frank Ragnow, who is one of the better players that we have on this roster. We have a chance to go ahead and make him a 90 overall, and we will do just that. He's going to get a 90 overall pass protector, plus 2 awareness, plus 1 block finesse. So feeling really good about that. First 90 overall guy that we have on this roster with that star dev trait. So we go ahead and get into the second game of this episode. We're taking on the New York Jets here on the road. Another road game for us, and familiar face on the opposite side. We take on Colin Kaepernick, who, if you guys remember back in season number 1, at least in this particular series, he was on the Philadelphia Eagles, and we did lose to them last season, also on the road. So now he's the starting quarterback for the Jets. I guess they really were not feeling what Zach Wilson was doing for that football team. I don't even know where Zach Wilson ended up, but honestly, not a realistic move, and it's something that I'd like to see Madden kind of address, a more realistic AI. They would not give up on the second overall pick in the NFL draft that quickly, you know. But that being said, nothing that we can really do about it now. We just got to try to do our best and try to see if we can contain this offense, as this rushing attack is actually doing some pretty good stuff. They're running it right down the field. Nyheim Hines, he's looking extremely good right now, so it's a 3rd and short. And I actually wouldn't be surprised if they actually they actually are passing the football, and dude finds the tight end, and it's going to end up being a 1st and goal situation for the New York Jets. An opportunity for them to go ahead, take this lead here. Is now 1st and goal. Kaepernick gonna hand it off to the tailback, who gets it in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. And Michael Carter, the rook, the second-year pro, gives the Jets the 14-7 lead, but that is going to be short-lived, as we will go ahead and end up responding on the following drive, as Tyrell Williams trying to do the Lambeau leap in New York, but the Jets fans do not want any of that whatsoever. They just push him right down. But that being said, though, we do at least go ahead and get ourselves a tie, and it is a 3rd and long situation for us. Jets do respond with a touchdown of their own. We're going to try to respond ourselves, as Becker's flushed out of the pocket. Guy trying to get it out to TJ Hawkinson, but that is going to be no good, as pass was an inaccurate ball. And that's something that Justin Becker has really had some problems with over the course of the season, just missing those easy passes. We're just out here having a rough time with it, but we do at least get a field goal on the board. We make it a 4-point game for the time being, as Hines actually cuts it back out and does manage to go ahead and pick himself up. Yet another 1st down. Is now another 1st and 10. Going to try to send the blitz this time around, as Kaepernick gets it over the middle and finds his man into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. And it is now a 2-possession game because of it. One of those games where it's starting to slip away a little bit here on Thursday night. We can't respond with a score of our own, so defense really need to respond. Just at least keep it to a field goal, although we will at least get them to a 4th down, but I suspect that they just might be going for it here. We'll see what ends up happening, though, as the punt, no, it's actually a fake. They're going to throw it, and the pass ends up being dropped. Oh, my goodness. We got so lucky right there. If that pass was caught, that was going to be a touchdown. That was going to be an easy scoring for him. But instead, we are still remotely in this game as we try to come back with Justin Becker facing pressure, trying to get it out to TJ Hawkinson. But it is incomplete, though. And so, got to go in, settle for yet another field goal attempt. Matt Barkley with the hold, and Matthew Wright just doing a fantastic job, just hitting that thing right through the middle. The kick is good. And so we're down by 8 points. We need our defense to step up here. 3rd and 3, and just like that, they pick up a first down. Unfortunately, not a good look for us. Trying to make sure, and we do at least have the 2-minute warning to work with. We do have all of our timeouts, but we got to try to take care of business. And this certainly isn't it. We do at least force them out of bounds. So that will stop the clock at 2:15, but we can't keep giving up these conversions. We can't keep giving up these first downs. We certainly cannot afford it. Corn Elder, he can't make a play on the football. He read it pretty solid, just couldn't complete the play, unfortunately. I was pressing triangle, but hey, the Madden gods, they simply were not on my side. As now, if the Jets pick up another first, yeah, they got that first down. Yep, they got that first down. No flags either. I mean, we're going to do our best to run down this clock at least a little bit here, but it's not looking good for us here whatsoever. 2nd and 12. They're going to run it again, get it up the gut, and does manage to pick up a few yards. I mean, got to play with a little bit of pride because we can't stop the clock, unfortunately. I would be shocked if we try to pass this football. As now, Kaepernick, he's going to hand it off to his tailback, but gets met in the backfield. I wish we were able to go ahead and do that earlier in this game, but hang on. It looks like we got ourselves a holding penalty. Kenny Yurden gets called for it, and that means the clock does end up staying at a minute. Unfortunately, field goal attempt does end up being good for them, and it's a 31-20 lead. We can't win the game, but hey, at least maybe we can try to play with a little bit of pride. Try to get into the end zone one time, but even then, last play of the game, we can't have nice things as the Jets are going to go ahead and secure this thing. So we go 0-2 in this episode. It's been tough riding for us ever since we got that opening win against the Chicago Bears, where Justin Becker just had a masterful performance. We haven't seen that since then, and lose to the Jets. That's a really tough look for us overall. So I personally cannot believe my eyes. We lose to the freaking Jets, led by Colin Kaepernick. Like, what are we actually doing, man? We are down horrendous right now. We're losing to the Jets of all teams. It's a tough one, and I mean, we just couldn't get anything really going. We couldn't get those key plays, I guess. Starting with our passing, though, Justin Becker, I mean, he was okay. 19 for 34, 241, 2 touchdowns, and that pick at the very end. It was just weird how that Madden moment was set up to where, I mean, we didn't really have time to really read the defense or anything like that. DeAndre Swift was okay, though. He had 11 carries for 51 yards. No touchdowns, no fumbles, anything like that. Tyrell Williams did end up getting into the end zone, though. 8 catches, 117 yards, and a tub. Quintez Chavez did also find a way to get into the end zone as well. 3 catches for 57 yards. And then Donnie Watson, another mediocre game, really. Only 3 catches on the day, and it went for 44 yards. Defensively, simply put, we just got to be better on defense, man. Giving up 28 to the Jets, and then we gave up 42 to the Washington football team. That's not going to get the job done by any stretch of the imagination. Monty Oluye, 11 total tackles on the day. Also had 7 tackles from Jelani Tavai, Alex Azalon, and Jeff Okuda. When your defensive backs are leading the team in tackles, that's really not a good look whatsoever. And then also we definitely struggled against his quarterback. We only had 2 sacks today. Lee McNeil, the second-year pro out of North Carolina State, did end up getting a sack. And then Julian Okura and Gordon Gant, our first-round pick, one of our first-round picks, I should say, did end up going ahead and getting a half sack for the both of them. But again, we didn't force any turnovers. We have one pass deflection, but that really was actually 3 pass deflections, but that's really dropped interceptions. We need our defense to actually go out there and force turnovers. If we can't get turnovers, that's not a good look for us, and that's not a way for us to win in the NFL. It's just not acceptable. One silver lining that we do have is at least a few of our guys are going to go out there and get themselves some upgrades, most notably, and sadly most notably, Jack Fox. He is now going to be an 81 overall with +2 awareness and +1 to kick accuracy, even though we went with power, but whatever, it is what it is. Lee McNeil's also going to get an upgrade. The North Carolina State product, he's going to move himself up to a 73 overall at the very least. He's going to get a +1 to a few things as well. And then Cole Coleman. Now, Cole Coleman, he's a guy that we did pick up. He is a rookie from Central Michigan. We're going to improve his pass protection a little bit because it's only like in the mid-50s. I want to make him more of a scheme fit for us. +3 awareness, +1 to pass block. But he still has plenty of work to do before he sees the field on a consistent basis for us. But we also got to go out there and deal with the fallout of us losing a Thursday night game. I'm actually surprised we don't get any penalties or anything like that, but it's definitely a tough look for us either way. We are now 2-6 on this season. It's quickly getting away from us here. We have some work to do yet. But now, while we do go ahead and return to the confines of home, we got a really tough opponent, man. At least offensively, the Dallas Cowboys are coming to town. They got an 87 overall in offense, but that defense looking suspect. Maybe we can take advantage of that. But either way, we really need to get back on track. We need this win going into the bye week. So we will play the Dallas Cowboys in the next episode. But if you enjoyed today's content, even taking a look at a custom prospect from another team in this franchise, do me a favor, hit that like button for me. And then on top of that as well, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. I got college football and pro gaming content here on the channel for your enjoyment, of course. Also, hit me up down in the comments as well. I love reading all your comments. But with that being said, this is John J. Gaming on the mic signing off. I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.